So you think you might be chasing name, fame, or fortune, or whatever it is that you're going after. You think that's actually what you're going after. But actually, we've been bamboozled. We've been tricked. Really, it's the ultimate scam. Because here's what you, me, and the other 8 billion people are really trying to get. This is all that we're trying to get in all of our seeking. Are you ready for it? There's a story of a man that goes to a Zen farmer, and he asked this farmer, it's always a Zen farmer in these stories, but he goes to this Zen farmer and he says, I need a job. Can you give me a job? And the farmer says, I'll give you a job, but I won't pay you. What do you really need? And the man's like, well, I need the money, obviously. And the farmer says, okay, I'll give you the money, but you can't spend it. What do you really need? And of course, at this point, the man thinks he's being punked by this Zen farmer. And he's like, well, I need the money to buy food. And the farmer goes, okay, I'll give you food, but you can't eat it. What do you really need? And this goes on for a while. And the man eventually goes, well, I wanted a job because I needed the money, because I needed some food, because I was hungry. And he kept going down the line, now that if I got the food, then I wouldn't be hungry. And he eventually realized, he goes, then I would finally feel at peace. And the Zen farmer goes, there it is. That's what you really need. And the man's like, yes, thank you, sir. I need peace. And the farmer says, great. Unfortunately, I can't give that to you because you've already got it. And so what this story is seeking to illustrate in many stories like this is that in all of our seeking, there's a line by King David, I believe it was, all of this just is seeking, it's vanity and chasing after the wind. And he said, in all thy seeking, seek understanding. The basic idea here is that all 8 billion of us or more, we think that what we really want and what we really need is a better condition of some kind, more money, a better job, a better partner, a better body, etc., etc. But if you really just slow it down, what is it when you think you want that dream house, let's just say? What is it you will feel if you had that house? Or so you think. You would feel a sense of security, maybe, a sense of comfort, perhaps a sense of peace. That's what you're actually seeking. Or what about a relationship? And I'm not saying, by the way, let me be very clear, I'm not saying we shouldn't have all these things, but we need to understand and put them in the proper priority if we want to truly be free, truly have agency, truly be empowered. Because as long as we think that house or that job or that money or that person is going to give us the freedom, the peace, the love, the joy, the fulfillment, the confidence, the sense of empowerment, we are forever going to be a slave to the things of the world. And that's really the big idea here, as I teach with the Awaken Wealth work, that wealth is not dollar bills and crypto, stocks and bonds. That is not real wealth. It started off as a barter system, and we knew that through our own life force, our own energy, we could create bread, and then we could exchange the bread for someone who had created candles, raised chickens, and we would exchange our life force in the form of bread. There was still a sense of agency. There was still a sense of, it wasn't about that I needed these different things. I was coming from a place of doing my work, or they'd say in the Buddhist tradition, my dharma. And then eventually that got exchanged for shells, because you couldn't keep enough bread, or the bread would go bad or whatever, the eggs would go bad. And so you had to have some kind of medium of exchange. And then we got a little further away from the source of that inner state of creativity and agency and sovereignty and expression and our ability to create whatever we needed. And then that currency or that medium of exchange eventually got turned into a whole system of exchange. And then there was the banking and then financial instruments. And now we're many, many steps away from the real source of the life force. And then eventually we had to get a job to get that medium of exchange called the currency in order to buy that bread or whatever. And now it even got further. And then we had to go to college to learn a trade, to get the job, to get the currency, to put it into the financial system, to be able to get the bread. You see what I'm saying? And then, just add to that. And then we had to learn all these technologies in order to get the job, or in order to go to college and graduate, in order to get the money, in order to put it into the system, in order to eventually trade it for bread and candles and eggs, and on until we have created this gigantic dream, this gigantic mirage or hypnotic state where there's 1,000 different things we need to get, first, second, third, fourth, whatever, before we can finally get what we need, the bread, the eggs, so that we can feel satisfied in our stomach, in our body, so that we can be at peace. And that's really, in a very grounded and practical description, what Maya is, what the matrix is. And it's this whole superstructure we've created where we've been convinced that we must purchase our peace, our joy, our fulfillment, our worthiness, our well-being through some technology that will allow us to get good grades in school, that will allow us to get a good degree, that will allow us to get a good job, that will allow us to get a paycheck, get into the financial system, and eventually have the money, to circulate the money, to get the bread, to have peace. And then again, to have the house, and then you got to keep up with the Joneses, and there's no amount of stuff that will ever give you that. So the lie is that we have to purchase this state of security, comfort, peace, love, connection, worthiness, freedom, power, fulfillment through some condition. And the problem is, what happens when you eat that food? You feel peace for a few hours, right? If you're lucky, maybe for several hours. But then you're hungry again. If your peace is based on how much food you have in your stomach, you're going to have a problem. And so it goes. Or you get that paycheck and you buy that nice meal, or you buy that nice pair of clothing or shoes, or you go on a vacation, and for a moment you feel happy, you feel confident, and then those clothes wear out and that vacation buzz wears off, and you got to go back to the grind. And again and over, you have to keep purchasing peace, joy, connection. What about a relationship? How many ways do you have to purchase a sense of feeling loved or lovable or worthy of love? I don't think I have to tell you, if you've been in relationships, even in a good one, there's a constant sense. And sometimes it's not even implicit. Sometimes your partner is like, what have you done for me lately? When have you brought me flowers, right? There's literally things you have to purchase. And wherever it is, this is the giant lie, the giant matrix, the giant dream and illusion that we have been trapped in, like rats in a maze, chasing after the cheese on a treadmill or one of those little wheels. No matter how fast you run, you can never get there. And what the great message of all the master teachers is, stop worrying about that. Jesus said, take no thought for your life, what you shall eat or drink, or wherewithal you shall be clothed, but seek first the kingdom of heaven within. He did say within. If we only got that part right, we'd be in a lot different place by now. And then he said, as you make that connection, all of these things will be added unto you. In other words, when we're connected to the source, or another way to say it is the branch of the tree, it cannot produce of its own accord. We are like the prodigal son, or like the branch that's cut off from the tree and it withers and dies. We are not able to produce our own fruit. And so we're running around trying to plug into everybody else's trees. But the branch connected to the tree, it doesn't labor for its fruit or for its flowers or its blossoms. The tree and the soil and the earth beneath it, indeed the whole world and the whole of nature, is conspiring to bring forth the fruits and the flowers and everything that is needful when we are connected directly to the roots, directly to the soil, directly to our soul. And what is it that we're connected to? What is it that we're really seeking? That is the ultimate thing we're seeking, is this sense or this state of connection, or this ultimate highest feeling state or being state of wholeness, of oneness, of union, of fulfillment, right? And what these great teachers have been telling us throughout the ages, in all great religions, and even some great philosophies, is when we're in that state of connection, when we make that state of being the ground of our being, the most important priority, the thing we go after as a priority, as a top value. Seek first the kingdom. Be still and know that I in the midst of you am mighty. Stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. Let go of desire, as Buddha would say, craving and aversion, which is just craving more and more and more good things to get that good feeling, or pushing away more and more bad things to get that good feeling. But that's all we're ever trying to do, is we're only seeking one thing: to feel better, a higher, richer, more complete state of fulfillment or wholeness or oneness. And the only thing we're trying to run away from, or the only thing we fear, is a state of separation, which feels like lack, limitation, disconnection, right? Connection, disconnection. That's all there is. Wholeness or separation. That's all there is. Some would say love or fear. That's all there is. And that's all we're seeking. Not only that, but that is the real substance of everything we're experiencing. It is done unto you as you believe, one master said. And we know this. It's been said in so many ways. We are as happy as a man thinks. As a man thinketh, so he is. This has been said in so many ways. But it's not just our thought. It's that the state of our thought activates the state of our feeling. And as long as we believe I'm lacking something, and if I'm, in order to be happy, worthy, free, fulfilled, I need to get something more or get rid of something more, I am on the wheel of suffering. I am living out the false self that Buddha was teaching how to become free of, how to find equanimity where you have no more desire, no more craving or aversion, no more seeking or striving to get or get rid of. And in that resting, in that dissolution of all the karma and the samskaras of all these attachments, in that absence of desire, you have a realization of freedom, of liberation. This is what Jesus was teaching. This is what Buddha was teaching. This is what all the great teachers were teaching. The bottom line is, and the great hypnotism or illusion or scam of all scams, is that we're empty or we're broken or we're not enough. And if we just got more, we're an empty shell and we just got to fill ourselves up. And once our shell's filled up enough, then we can blossom into a great tree. That's exactly the opposite of how it works in nature. Every seed is self-complete. It has the perfect pattern, the potential, the power, and the mechanics of its own fulfillment when it is surrendered to the soil. And there's a pattern and a seed of pattern and purpose and power and perfection within you already. And when you surrender to the soil of your soul and you connect with that sense of wholeness and perfection that you already are. Not as a personality, don't get me wrong. As a human being, you're not perfect. As a human being, we're cray-cray. As a human being, we are broken and lacking and sick and crazy, because human beings are just a collection of universal beliefs. Some of them good, some of them not so good, but it's a collection of beliefs, most of which are based on this sense of separation, lack, limitation, and not enoughness. But your true being, the ground of your being in which you are meant to be rooted in, that being is whole, complete, like the tree rooted in the earth, and it blossoms and it produces flowers and fruits, harvest after harvest, without struggle or strain or striving. That is how we're meant to live. As Jesus said, look at the lilies of the field. They do not toil or spin. Toil means work, and spinning means, like with the loom or whatever, creating your own clothing. He said, look, they do not toil or spin, but they are arrayed or adorned more beautiful than Solomon. They had the greatest fashion. They were the most beautiful, and they didn't have to work or struggle for it. And he was trying to tell us, get back to that nature, ye of little faith, to trust, to seek first this connection, to get rooted again in the soil of our soul, in the ground of our being. And again, it doesn't mean you can't have nice things, that you can't build a great business, that you can't have a great relationship and raise a wonderful family and take great care of your body. Don't get me wrong. It means to understand that you're not on your way to a better day or even a better self. You're not on your way to heaven or to wholeness or to more wealth and riches. You're coming from it. The sunbeam is not on its way to the sun. The wave is not on its way to the ocean. The branch is not on its way to the tree. It's all emergent. It's coming from. The kingdom of heaven is within you. Nirvana is within you. The Tao is within you. The source of all creation is within you. Not within your body, but within your spirit or your consciousness or your mind as an avenue to it. Whatever metaphor works for you. You don't have to be a believer. You can be an atheist and still understand when you have those great aha moments, those eureka moments, those inspirations where you say it came out of the blue. Well, that's what I'm talking about. It's coming from the blue within you, okay? That's all of life, all of potential is already there. The whole seed pattern of inexhaustible potential. And if you make your priority to be connected first and foremost, not only, but first. Like you plant the seed in the soil first before you try to get a bunch of fruits or flowers. You make sure it stays rooted first. You water and feed and nourish the roots and the soil first. And if you keep doing that, watering, feeding, weeding, honoring the roots, the soil, the seed, it eventually breaks through. It becomes visible. It eventually emerges. And the deeper the roots, the taller the shoots, and the richer the fruits. But always, you must tend first and foremost to the roots. What do you really value? What really matters most? Matter is just what matters in form. So if what matters is that sense of connection, that sense of peace and love and joy that ultimately you must cultivate within you. And instead of thinking what I want or what I need is more money or more power or fame or fortune or people or likes on my socials or any whatever external condition you've been hypnotized to believe you have to purchase, but instead you understand if I had those things, how would I be feeling? I would feel maybe more joyful, more peaceful, more worthy, more lovable and loved. Okay, well, why not just go directly for the real gold? Instead of going for the second order consequence that I have to then to get me back to this ultimately. And then again, remember, if you think the money is the source of your peace or power, you're always going to have to strive and struggle after the money or hold on to it and guard it and protect it and fight or die for it. But if you know that you want the money to have the peace and you just get the peace, you don't have to do any of that stuff, right? And I'm telling you, when I tell you this, as you get the peace, as you get this deep sense of love and fulfillment, you emerge and it blossoms and it fruits and it looks like new opportunity and money and jobs and inspiration and love and connection, people, but you know it's coming from you, not from the world. As a result, you can hold it lightly. You can be generous with your fruits because as the tree gives away its fruits, it just can produce another harvest and another harvest and another harvest. You're less constrained and protected and afraid and disconnected because you don't need anything from anybody. The world is a channel at best, but you are the source. Not dollar bills, stocks, bonds, cryptos, or whatever, but the source of the joy and the peace, the feeling, the vibration, the frequency of real wholeness and real fulfillment, which is the only thing you and me and the rest of the 8 billion people are after anyway. Go straight for that. You might have heard of the movie Citizen Kane. Orson Welles directed it. He might have written it too. But basically, this guy rises to power and gets amasses everything. Right? He's got a castle, and in the end, he's dying alone in his castle, miserable, and he's scrambling for something, and he can't find it. And at the very end, the last words out of his mouth are Rosebud. And it becomes a mystery as the reporters are trying to figure out, spoiler alert, what is Rosebud? And it turns out in the end, we discover Rosebud was the name of his sled that he played with as a child when he felt so alive and so innocent and so happy and so loved, and all the world was okay before he got corrupted by the false drives and the greed and the need of this world. He was free. And after gaining the whole world, in the end, all he really wanted, and he knew all that he really needed, was Rosebud again, was that sense of innocence, that sense of childlike freedom. And a child shall lead us. Be ye as a child to enter the kingdom of heaven. This is the state of grace we are being invited back to. And again, as you live in that, you will not just be sitting on a bench or meditating in lotus position all day. I'm telling you what I know. You will be inspired. You will be motivated. You will be moved. That tree of your life will grow, and it will blossom, and it will bear fruit richly, and you will create and produce and have a good old time. But as long as you keep going back to the roots, remembering all that I'm really after is a greater feeling of fulfillment, a greater feeling of joy, love, peace, which only I can generate. And from there, I can share and shine and serve and radiate. You will be on the straight and narrow that few go. So I hope this has helped you. I hope now you know the big secret. Don't tell anybody. I'm just kidding. Tell everybody. In all of our seeking, seek understanding. In all of our striving, strive to get the one and only thing all 8 billion people are going after, and that is the feeling. Because after all, it don't mean a thing if it ain't got that feeling. I hope you've enjoyed this. Make sure to subscribe and like and share. And until next time, remember to live authentically, love unconditionally, and follow your destiny. Well, let me just tell you real quick. My name is Rydall. I'm the author of the best-selling books Emergence and the Abundance Project, and the creator of the Law of Emergence,